Hey everybody, it's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I'm back. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. I know it's been a while. I had to take a break because a lot of y'all know I have a day job, and my day job sent me to training, and there was no way I was gonna be able to do the show from there. I did try once. If y'all remember that episode, and I was sitting in the dark before the show was even almost over. So I said, okay, I can't keep doing that. So we took a little bit of a break, but now I'm back. I have two amazing guests for you tonight. I'm telling you, both of these ladies are doing amazing things. Two totally different types of books, two different platforms, but they're they are both killing it. So, without any further ado, I want to introduce you to my lovely guest. The first one is Miss Chanele Ramos. Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good, and you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. I'm really excited to have you on the show. I think we've actually done an interview. I think that was over a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while ago. It's like when I first published my book, so it wasn't like long after. Might have been in 2023 or
I
maybe
believe so. And you
yeah.
had just written the book. So
hmm
was it even published yet?
Yeah, I published it in October 2023, so it was like shortly thereafter.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Because you've been doing some major things with your story. And I'm really proud of you because I remember you talking about it. And then you made it happen and you published a book. And then you said, I'm not just going to be satisfied with publishing a story. This story is going to go even further. So, can you
Mhm.
talk to me a bit about your journey? First, before you start the journey, tell us about the story. And then from the story, I would love to be able to talk a bit about the journey from concept to where you are now.
Sure, yeah. So, my story is about two rival detectives, Dao and Chisai. My setting is in Bangkok, Thailand, and so Dao and Chisai are rival detectives, and they have to work together to find out why strippers have gone missing. And throughout the exploration, their investigation, they learn about themselves, they learn about their families, they learn about the elite society that are actually running a human trafficking ring. And
Mhm.
while they're investigating, they wind up falling for each other. So it's like a crime, mystery, romance, suspense, all wrapped into one.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the whole story takes place in Asia, correct?
Yeah, in Bangkok, Thailand. Yep, that's the setting.
Wow. So what gave you the idea of setting the story in Thailand?
So, in 2022, I got into boy love, Thai BL boy love shows, and one show in specific called Kim Porsche was the first show I ever watched, and I really loved that show that I wound up getting into a fandom for the first time in my life. And
Mm.
in the fandom, I started writing fan fiction of the characters of two of the characters from Kim Porsche, and when I realized I could write a really good like story because I had like over 30,000 readers on Wattpad that read my story,
Wow.
I decided to write my own. So my friends in the fandom like basically challenged me to write my own novel and then turn it into a TV show. So that's what really got me started. And I just went from there.
Well, first of all, that is amazing that you were able to amass this type of a following on Wattpad. And there may be some people who don't understand Wattpad. I didn't understand it for a while until I realized that my daughter was actually reading a lot on Wattpad. It's like a different type of reading. You're reading, they're engaging stories, but they're just not in a format that many of us are used to.
hmm Yeah. And I mean, it's great they have original stories, but it's also great for fan fiction. That and Archive of Our Own. Those both are like two platforms that people write a lot of fan fiction on.
Okay.
I think fanfiction.net is one too. But yeah, that's where I got my start. And then I wrote my novel in 3 months. And from July to October, and then I published it October 2023. And then after that, I actively started working to find production companies in Thailand to take on my novel to make it into a TV series. So at first, I started reaching out to everyone as an author, like, hey, I wrote this novel and I really want it to be turned into a show. But they were like, no. Pretty much like they was not with it. Like they was ignoring me, or they would respond and they like laugh a
It's,
bit and be
it's
like, what are
something a
you
little
talking about?
different. People aren't used to that type of story. Number one, it's about boy love, as you call it, male on male love. And
Hmm.
then it takes place in an entirely different country. And then it's a Black woman who's writing it. So it, you just kind of disrupted from a whole bunch of different vantage points.
Yeah, and being like just a complete outsider, being an American, being a Black woman, and like Thai BL is made by Thai people. So for me to be this complete outsider trying to come into their industry with my own story, they're just like, what? Why are you here? So it's like, it's not for any like nefarious reasons. I just really love Thai BL and I just wanted to make one. And like it's such a simple concept, but like a lot of people are like, what? Like that's it? That's all? Like, yeah, it's really simple. I love it. I wrote it. I want to make it. That's it. But everyone's like, well, but why? It's just like, I don't know. It was a challenge that I accepted it. And then I fell in love with it. I fell in love with my story even more than I already did. I fell in love with the process of making my show. I we did me and my business partner Laura, we did a casting call. And I mean, I guess even before that, I guess let me go back a bit. When I first tried to get production houses in Thailand to take on my story, like I said, I got laughed out of the room. Nobody wanted to, like, no one paid me any mind. Nobody wanted to hear, like, who is this stranger? Like, I'm not
Mm,
bestseller yet. I'm not any of these things that would make someone be like, well, why should I take on your story? And so one of my friends, he's been a director, producer, actor for a long time, almost like 2 decades now. And I talked to him about everything that I was going through, what I was trying to accomplish. He's like, well, look, if you really want to have control over how your show is made, how this all happens, you need to start your own production company. So I was like, really? Like that's something I really have to do because I've owned multiple other companies beforehand. This wasn't like I'm like another company. Like I don't know if I really want to own another company, but I'm like, okay, all right, sure. I talked to Laura about it. I'm like, Laura, do you really think we can do this? And she was like, yeah, I think we can. So January of 2024, we launched Lani Studios, which is my production company. And then after that, we started reaching out to Thai production companies again, but this time being a production company, reaching out to other production companies, now we weren't laughed out of the room. At this point, they're like, oh, okay, we're
it,
just going to take
it
you
gave you
seriously.
right. It gave you a little bit of credibility.
Exactly. It's not just, oh, it's this author coming to me asking me, oh, can you make, this show or take my novel, make it into a show? It's a CEO of a company, of a production company that's coming to me and saying, can you partner with me to make this? And so, we wound up getting a company in Thailand that was willing to take us on. And so with BL, with Thai BL specifically, it's not just a show, it's like a whole franchise. There's so much that goes into it. It's not just a show. I mean, after the show, I mean, before the show, there's premieres and there's fan meets and there's merch and there's fan concerts and it's just like literally like a whole thing. So the first thing with Thai BL to even see if your show can get made is to see if it's popular. So a pilot trailer is something that you have to create and you put it on YouTube and you see if you get the traction where people really want to see the show. And then that's what you use the leverage to get sponsors, investors, streaming platforms, whatever, to take on your show. And so I spent my own money. I got my money together. We did the casting call in March of last year. We did like an online casting call. So people had to take our script and then send in their videos and like their audition videos. And we wound up going through so many videos to pick our cast. And then we picked our cast. I worked with this production company. We like got everything together. And in May of last year, I went to Thailand and we created the pilot on May 20th of 2024. And the pilot now is on YouTube. It's been on YouTube since July 14th and it has amassed over 1.3 million views.
Wow. And I got to tell you, I saw the pilot. I was like, and this, I always knew that you were serious about what you've done. Like I said, I've been watching you from the very beginning. But when I saw the pilot, it is such great quality. I wish you had sent me a link so we could show people the pilot right now. Can you
Oh
put it in?
yeah, I can send you the link. I don't
Yes,
know how.
put it in the
Yeah.
chat so we can
All right.
show it. Because
Let
I
me
think
see how
people
I
need
can
to
do that.
see just how beautiful this pilot is. Okay, y'all. And I'm not saying this just to blow smoke. I mean, the quality is good and it can rival the quality of pilots that you're seeing on TV today. She did a very good job with it, and I love the fact that she is so invested in what she does. So, and what I mean by that is she could have written this story and never set foot in Thailand. She actually went to Thailand so she could really film this, and so she can talk to the production company. She started a production company. She did all of the things to make sure that this concept became reality. So I'm going to try this. I've not done this before. Let me see. I'm going to try because I really want you all to see this.
Okay. That's exciting.
It's so funny.
I might blush.
Okay, so I got it up. Now let me go ahead and share the screen.
Okay. Make sure you take the captions off so they can see like the English subtitles at the bottom.
You know, I don't know how to do all of that. Let me see.
Because sometimes when I press it, like the captions will come up and it'll be like, no, this just press the CC.
Okay, let's see. Click. Okay, I think I took them off. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share this screen. Okay. Allure of the Siren.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Wait, let me do this. There.
Yeah.
You hear it?
Yep.
Okay.
เป็นคดีคนหายสาบสูญมีรายงานว่านักเต้นระบำเปลื้องผ้าหายไปจากคลับในหลายพื้นที่ยังไงพวกคุณต้องทำงานร่วมกันตัดความรู้สึกส่วนตัวออกไปก่อนได้ไหม
มึงไม่ยอมทำทุกอย่างเพื่อขี้คายคดีเลยหรอวะ
ผมมีแผนมาเสนอครับหัวหน้าผมจะแฝงตัวเข้าไปเองครับส่วนมึงอะทำอะไรมั่งเพราะงี้ไงมึงถึงมาที่2ทุกงาน
เฮ้ยมึงเห็นหน่วยอื่นบ้างยังวะ
ไม่เห็นเลยเดี๋ยวก็มาน่ะมึงก็รู้นี่ว่าไอ้สายสืบดาวอ่ะมันเป็นยังไง
เห็นว่ายาสูตรนี้เนี่ยประสิทธิภาพสูงขึ้นมากกว่าเดิมและจะช่วยแก้ไขปัญหาที่เราเคยเจอมาก่อนหน้านี้ได้ทั้งหมด
Perfect
นี่วะ
เชี่ยอะไรวะเนี่ยดาวทำอะไรอ่ะ
เราจริงเว้ย
เชี่ยเขาขนาดนี้เลยเหรอเกือบโดนจับแล้วไหมล่ะ
จริงเลย ศร้าอีกเหรอใจเย็นดิใจร้อนอ่ะ
Girl. Man, you did that. First of all,
Thank
you
you.
did that. And I can see why it got over 1.3 million views, because the pilot is a whole movie in itself.
Yeah, it's great. And like I picked 90% of the music for it. So I'm like, oh, let me add that to my resume, music arranger. But
Now,
yeah.
well, now tell me, I know you said that this was something that you've been interested in for a long time. You know, you enjoy these types of stories. But I mean, because as I'm watching this, I was like, wow. And then I pictured myself, I'm like, would I have been shy of what what I have tried to hold back? And it seemed like you were very unapologetic in the story that you wanted to tell.
Yeah, I mean, even in my novel, the love scenes are very graphic. And even it's crazy because like even when I read my novel, I'm like, that Chanel, you're a wild girl. Cause like I get so shy. Like it's one thing to take it from your head and write it. It's another thing to read it. And I do like live, I've been doing live readings on my Instagram since January of reading my novel. And I'm like on the ones where the scenes are really like graphic. I get so shy. Like I try to keep a poker face, but it's hard. But yeah, for the show, you know, I consider I consider my novel, I consider the show dark theme. So it's a lot of things that's dark that'll make you like, oh, that's a bit much. But then it also has light moments and gray moments because I think that it's good to like, if it's all too dark, then it becomes overwhelming. So it's like it's good to have it broken up. So they have moments where they're like at the karaoke bar singing, or they are riding a Ferris
Yeah.
wheel and having a day out. So it'll break up even in the show where it has like these lighter moments, even though it has like a lot of heavy moments and a lot of heavy themes of like child abuse, sexual abuse, violence, you know, things like that.
It's a lot of themes in this movie.
Mm, it is. And it'll be a 10 episode show. So, you know, each episode will run maybe an hour. I would say between 45 minutes and an hour and 15 minutes is like our range for each episode. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Now the other part is, I know you're still working on the funding to go full throttle with the movie.
Yes.
So you have an Indiegogo campaign that you're doing. How can people find out more information about that?
So, I think the link tree that I sent you, it has where you can buy my novel. It also has where it says donate here. You can donate to the Indiegogo. It only goes up until Friday. I think depending on how many like donations I get, they have like this in-demand thing where they'll still allow you to get donations after Friday. But Friday is actually the cutoff, like the end of the actual campaign. And we haven't reached our goal, but for me, Indiegogo is just an option that I'm trying. It's not the only option that we are actively doing currently. We are literally got our hands in so many pots, like with sponsors, investors, and streaming platforms, and now Indiegogo. So it's like 4 or 5 different things that we're trying right now to get the funding to make the show. But Indiegogo is one of our options that we would really like to, you know, see how much that we can get from there. So far, we've had like 30 backers, and I think we're at like 1150 or something like that. So we're grateful for everyone that has supported us thus far. But if we can, you know, get more, then the more the merrier. Or if people are like, I don't really want to donate to the Indiegogo, then they can always buy my novel. All the proceeds from my novel goes towards my show too. So either way, it all helps.
And now that you mentioned the novel, so for those of you who haven't heard yet, I was invited back to Urban Grape DC Winery. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know about the Black History Month Literary Weekend. Well, we had our first kickoff event at Urban Grape DC back in February, and it was an amazing success. It was a great turnout. We had lots of authors there, lots of readers. We had like three different winemakers who came out. We had a great time. And so since it was such a success, the winery invited me back to do an author curated event for DC Pride Month. And Allure of the Siren is going to be one of the featured books during the DC Pride Month signing. So just like Chanel said, come on out, get a copy of the book, and the proceeds from the book are going to go toward this project. And you've already seen what you're working with. This is not a fly by night. This is not somebody who just threw something together. You see the quality that we're dealing with. So I just ask everybody, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching the replay, to please support this young filmmaker, this young author. What else can we call you? This business owner, this producer.
Mm-hmm. This mom.
Yes, this mom. This
grandmom.
So yeah, more information about the DC winery, the Urban Grape DC winery, will be on the Meet the World Image Solutions Facebook and Instagram and TikTok pages, because I'm getting a little bit better about my TikToks these days. So you can find that information there. And where can people find information about you, Miss Chanel?
So they can. Oh, I think the Linktree too has all my social medias, but I'm on TikTok, all the same username. So author CL Ramos is TikTok, Instagram, and Threads with all that exact same. And then on Facebook, I'm just there under Chanel Ramos. So yeah, and then Lonnie Studios, my business for the show, is uh on YouTube at Lonnie Studios _ on Twitter, just Lonnie Studios, and then on Instagram at Lonnie Studios _ and then Lonnie Studios on Facebook.
All right, so everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere.
And now the link tree that you posted that we actually have on screen right now, people can go in and they can find links to those different social media sites as well.
Yep, the social media sites, it'll be at the top. They can click on it. Then they can click at the bottom. It has every place my novel is at. So my novel's on Kobo, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and iTunes. And then it also has the donate here for my Indiegogo.
Boom. So you can't miss it. There are no excuses.
No.
Well, Chanel, thank you very much for agreeing to be on the show and for being a featured author for the DC Pride Month event. We're going to have a great time. So hopefully we can get a bunch of people to come out, purchase the book, and that money can go toward this amazing project. Right. And now before we end, tell me your goals. What does a perfect scenario look like to you?
Okay, so a perfect scenario right now looks like to me is to get 1/3 of the cost of, so basically to reach my goal for my Indiegogo, which would take anywhere between 8,000, 10,000 people to donate for me to reach it. But I don't think that's unreasonable. I think that could be done if pretty much you have to go viral probably for that to happen. But yeah, I think that that's something that is possible. I've seen people raise the amount that I'm trying to raise within 24 hours. So that's something. Also, just to talk about more about the novel, talk about the show, tell your friends, your family, your colleagues, your, whomever, because a lot of people are interested in this type of genre, but a lot of people are very quiet about it. A lot of people that I know that like Ty BL, they can't really talk about it with their families, or they can't really talk about it with others. It's like a kind of private thing. But the more people that see this, the more people that see my pilot, know about me, know about my novel, then they can support in their own way, whether that's loudly or quietly. And then pretty much to get all the rest of the funding. So hoping one of these other pots that I'm in works out, and then me and my family can move to Thailand and get started with making the series. So
that would be wonderful. Man, I mean, and you actually literally moved there. How was that experience?
So I haven't I was supposed to move, but I didn't move because like it was so much issues with like the funding. Like I thought that I was going to get funding a lot sooner. I thought I was going to get a streaming platform a lot sooner. I mean, I've been in talks with certain platforms for like 8 months now, you know. So it was
Mm,
like all these things that I thought that was going to happen quickly didn't. It's been so many delays. You know, I've had some health issues. I've had some family issues. So it's just like constant things kept delaying. But the biggest thing is the funding that has delayed me the most, and so that's what we're like aggressively, actively working on right now, because that's what's going to get us the opportunity to move forward. And like my actors, my main lead actors, I have 9 actors already on board. They have been so patient with me and waiting. And it's just like, I want to be able to keep my word to them that I'm going to make the
right.
show and like get started with that. So once we have the funding, even if we have a third of the funding, like as long as we can get started with any of the process, because it's a lot of steps, not just I get there and we start filming. We got to do pre-production, which takes like 2-3 months, and then filming starts. So if I just even have enough money to get there and actually like just get started with all the pre-production stuff that I need to do, that's great too. But um yeah, I really want to, you know, get going. It's been a long road. So ready to get started. But yeah,
Well,
anything helps. The Indiegogo helps, buying a novel helps, telling everyone you know helps, getting it in front of more people, because I am the first Black woman to ever make a Thai BL show. And I think that's something that, you know, people should know about.
yes, absolutely. Well, once again, congratulations. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Hopefully this will get you a bump in some more backers. We're going to be sharing the show in a few different places, and I want to see you succeed. Just remember the little people.
I will, for sure. Thank you so much.
And thank you. You have a wonderful evening.
All
God
right.
bless you,
You too.
everybody. This is Chanele Ramos.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right. See, this is what I love. I love seeing people who want to make things happen and they're making it happen. They're not just waiting for people to give them an opportunity. They're taking those opportunities. And that's what it's all about. So before I move on to the next guest, I did want to announce that my new book, my new workbook is live now and it's absolutely free. So what I'm going to be showing you are 100 insider secrets to the literary industry. It's called Mastering the Game. And these are real secrets. There are stats in here. There are hints and there are action points so you can get started and accomplish everything that you find in this book. So I want you guys to download it. And like I said, it's absolutely free. So I don't want to hear anything about, oh, I can't afford it. You can afford it. I trust me, you can afford it. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to put the link in the chat, and I want you guys to go ahead and download this book. All right, here is the link. Go ahead, download this book. Like I said, it's absolutely free, and then jump into these industry secrets. And then when you find a tip that you like, something that resonates with you, hit your girl up and let me know which one it is. So don't forget, guys. This this book, I'm telling you, this book is everything. I worked really hard on this book because I wanted this to not just be fluff. I wanted this to be real, actionable secrets that you can use to help you with your literary journey. So click the link teammtw.store. You'll find the book in there, and you will also find other resources that will help you on your writing journey. So I hope to see you guys there, and I hope it's a big help to you because I know it will be. I know it will be. So now let's move on to our next guest, Miss Malika Steeply.
Hey, Dr. Rhonda, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
That's
Good to
good.
see
That's
you again.
good. Malika, you have been just making all kinds of noise. I mean, this is I can't believe this is your debut novel and it's been doing so well.
It has, yeah. It's been a journey, and I've been enjoying the journey. It's been and when you write a book, you have a specific way that you're thinking that it's gonna go, and then sometimes it might take a turn, but in this case, it went a different way, but it went the best way possible. So I'm enjoying everyone that I've met so far throughout this journey, everything that I've learned. So, I mean, I am not complaining whatsoever about
And
any
why
of it.
should you? I mean, not only is the book doing well, but you're winning awards. And I'm not even just talking about my award. Yes, and I was excited about that. I think you were one of the first people to enter the contest. And I had nothing to do with any of the judging. I compiled everything. I put it on social media so people could vote. And then I took the top winners and I sent them to the judges. It was an independent, and the judges didn't even know each other. They all they didn't even have a chance to discuss the books amongst each other. So when they read the books, they scored the books based on their own opinions. They had nothing to do with anybody else. So that says a lot about you and the great things that you're doing with this book. And I saw that Mark was on there. He said, "Hello, Malika,
Hey,
winner,
Mark.
third place winner." So I was just really excited with the way the contest worked this year. For it to be my inaugural contest and to get the caliber of books that we did, it was amazing.
Yes. It was, and I saw some of the books that were submitted, and I said, "Wow, look at this! This is, I mean, because just the fact there were so many dynamic authors with all of these fantastic stories to tell. I mean, it was just nice to be able to share this platform and this opportunity with them. So, and I did want to thank the judges as well. One of them came to the event when you had the Black History Month literary weekend, and I had an opportunity to speak with him, and so yeah, I was just nothing more than grateful for that opportunity. So thank you for putting all of that together.
Oh no, thank you for being a part of it. I really appreciate that. And now, like I was saying though, this wasn't the only award that you won. You have you already even have a badge on your book itself, on your book cover, with another award that you won. So tell me about that one.
Yeah, so this was for the International Book Awards, and I won. I was a finalist in the category of African American literature, and the next award that I won was also finalist in the I'm sorry. It'll come to me. I'm working on fumes right now. 3 hours of sleep. It'll come to me. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Indie Awards. I'm sorry. It's the Indie Awards.
See, you're doing your thing. And now the book is an audiobook.
It is. It's an audiobook, and I could not be more excited about it. And this is what I've always wanted. I wanted to release the book and the audiobook together. However, I needed it to be a specific way. The story takes place in Louisiana, in Lafayette, Louisiana, and I wanted to be able to find actors who can capture the accent, the dialect, the language of Louisiana Creole, also known as Cordivini. And so I was able to find some dynamic narrators for that. And so, yeah, they did a phenomenal job. I said, you know what, you guys, I will give you a little bit of creative control here, and you just take it away. And they had such a good time with it. So anyone who can have the opportunity to listen to it, please do so. It's narrated by Kay Gervais and Cliff St. Laurent. And Kay Gervais she is a beautiful narrator. I mean, everything that she puts her hands on, I mean, it just comes out just so fluidly, and she's just such a professional. And she lived in New Orleans for quite some time. She's a graduate of Xavier University. And then we have Cliff St. Laurent, who is from Lafayette. So everything that he read, like he was able to be like, yep, that he could read my book and say, yep, that's correct. Yep.
So you can't be mad at that.
Exactly. So yeah, he's an actor, dancer, singer, producer. So yeah, he actually came to me and he wanted to do. I knew him before, so he helped with the dialogue coaching before, and so he came and he said that he wanted to help work on this project. I said, okay, dude, how about it? So
Well, that's great that you were able to find so many supportive people to support this project.
yeah, the for the audiobook, yes. And when I was writing the book in itself, and I was looking for a publisher at the time, and I was looking for multiple publishers, and I had one who, you know, I knew that this one was going to work out. It was going to be perfect. And the editor came back and he said, yeah, you know, I like the concept, but you need to go back and learn more about your history. Now, this is coming from someone who was not of my hue, right? So, and he proceeded to tell me, you know, well, this wouldn't have happened and that wouldn't have happened, and so he was just very, you know, he was very nasty about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I accept, you know, any sort of constructive criticism. I'm never going to turn down free advice from a professional. So I'm waiting for that to happen. And, you know, but instead he was just very negative about it. So I said, you know what? That just gives me confirmation that I need to release this book on my own. I can have more creative control. I can do this and that. I can have control over what I want the cover to look like. You know, so that's what I ended up doing. And that was the absolute best decision, because this project was so near and dear to my heart. And just like the audiobook is just so near and dear to my heart. So I'm so happy that everything worked out the way that it was supposed to.
And I'm happy for you. So I'm excited about the book because you also participated in the sample chapter in the interactive book catalog. And when I read just that sample chapter that you sent me, I was like, oh, I like this. And you know, I'm from Louisiana myself. So when I see Louisiana stories done well, and I was just that one chapter kind of pulled me in because it was different. And the reason why I say it was different is because when we think of that era in time, we kind of think linearly. We don't think about people being able to be dressed up and going to galas and things like that. Like people who look like us did that. And it's not something that we fathom. So I was really glad that that was something that you were intentional about putting in the book.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can recall even you know, some of the first stories that I read as a kid and about slavery, and all I knew and all I read was about slaves being on plantations, you know, but I didn't hear about slaves you know, at universities, you know, building some of the buildings on university campuses. You know, I didn't hear about some of those who were rented to entertain others at different parties and who were able to roam around. So, you
what
know,
what was that movie that came out a couple of years ago? I keep forgetting the name of it. About he was a violinist.
Yeah. It'll come to me. But yeah, I mean, and that's one of them that I had later learned about, you know. And there's been others, you know, there's one who was enslaved, but yet he was the first enslaved gentleman who was able to compose his own music and and get it copywritten as someone who was enslaved. So, so there's all of these stories that are just fascinating to me, and a lot of I used to hear a lot of, oh, well, that was so long ago. We don't want to hear, we're over it. We don't want to hear too much about, that side of our past. But I think it's so important to honor those who were enslaved. Now, that's not where our history began. Let's
Right.
let's make that clear. But those who did not have a voice deserve a voice right about now. And if someone is tired of hearing about those stories, okay, well, it's not for you. It's for those who need to hear these stories. And right about now in 2025, we need to continue to hear these stories.
And I feel like we need to hear more story. We don't need to, and I'm not saying that I'm tired of the plantation type stories, but I think we also need to know that there weren't people, everybody wasn't like that. That wasn't everybody's
Right.
reality. We need to hear
Exactly.
about some of those other stories as well. So I think that's what I loved most about your book.
Thank you. And that's what that editor said. he was thinking that Danielle, the protagonist, should have stayed on the plantation. I'm like, who are you to tell me? First of all, it's based on a true story. First of all, second,
Right.
who are you to tell me, man who is not of my hue, about what and where someone that
And
was
it's
enslaved?
to learn your history.
Totally to learn my history. Can you believe that? So, and I'm a historian, I'm a genealogist. So this is what I do. So, yeah, I was insulted, but I was fueled. So I thank him. Thank you, gentlemen, for saying all of those ridiculous things, because that lit a fire under my butt, and I am going to continue on with this journey.
Well, now with that being said, you being a former journalist, did that help you along the way? I know you said you're a former genealogist as well, but you're also a former journalist. Did that help you along the way in researching for your book?
It did. It did. It helped me to first of all know my resources, and to be able to do the footwork, and and to not be intimidated to ask questions. There are a lot of strangers who I met where I needed to know, hey, have you heard of this story, or have you? I was in contact with the coroner's office, so I had to let them know, hey, I'm a journalist. My name is Malika J. Stevely. I'm looking for information about. So all of that helped me to move forward and to find, some information about this story that I've been researching, and other stories as well, and other projects that I'm working on too. So that in itself, and just really wanting to ensure that the narrative was correct, and ensuring that that I was doing right by some of these individuals who were in the book. So
Wonderful. Now, I will tell you, one of the most powerful moments during the Ivory and Cream affair was when you held up the coin and you explained that coin. And I was wondering if you could tell that story tonight.
sure, yeah. So in the book, the protagonist Danielle, she's wearing a slave badge, and usually when I go and I speak to book clubs and other individuals and groups who've read the book, the number one question is always, what's a slave badge? And a slave badge is, and I wish I had a picture of it up, but in any event, a slave badge is a piece of metal. Usually, there's some that are made of steel, but there are some that are a little bit lighter, and they're all different in different shapes. This particular one is a square, and the front part of it said Annapolis, and it had shackles engraved in it. and it had a Confederate eagle on the front, and on the back it said 1802, public auction house, strong, healthy Negroes. And so the one that I held up at the event, that one had the number 33 on it. And at the event, I was saying what's heartbreaking is that I don't know who number 33 was. I don't know if there were multiple number 33s who wore that badge at that slave auction house. I don't know if it was a man, woman, or a child. And so, this is one of those things that you can't find in most textbooks. I remember speaking to a group, and I was lecturing, and there was a young lady who was about 16 years old, and she said, she raised her hand and she said, we learn a little bit about slavery, but we've never learned the psychology behind it, the systems behind it, and we definitely didn't know anything about the slave badge. And so this enticed her to learn more about this part of American history. So when I go and I lecture, I feel like it's important for people to actually see what a slave badge is. And for those who are okay with holding it or touching it, some of them just get goosebumps. And they feel I had one lady on Saturday say, I felt chills going through me. So thank you for showing this, and thank you for allowing me to really put everything into perspective through this slave badge. So that's what a slave badge is essentially. And I forgot to also mention too that typically it was worn on like a strip of leather, and those who were enslaved who could go off of the plantation for whatever reason, they essentially wore this slave badge. And on most slave badges, it'll show who the plantation from which they came, and it sometimes might show the last name of their master, might even have the year on there. So to put it plainly, it was similar to a dog tag that our people wore. Right. Yeah. So.
And I was trying to picture what that reminded me of, and that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it is sad that you will never know who the owner of that badge was, or who had to wear that badge.
Well, that's what I'm finding out now, actually. I'm in the process of receiving grants so that I can do more research and learn more about, number one, this auction house. Now I understand that there were several in Annapolis, but I need to know if they had any particular records, and if I could find out who number 33 was. So there's a story around all of that, and there's a story that I would love to tell about that. So,
wow.
So more to come.
It also reminds me, last week I posted, I just started a series, and Daniel, my producer, gave me the idea to do it, but every week I'm posting a different piece of little known Black history. And nice. This past week, I posted the Kunta Kinte Memorial in Annapolis. And I don't know if you've been there, but it's beautiful, first of all. There are different quotes in the book, like a walk with plaques that lead to the actual statue of Alex Haley reading to children of different nationalities. And nice. I posted that video under my video and say Roots was a lie. I'm like, really? Tell me why it's a lie. You don't, but you can't. You can just say
Right.
Roots was a lie.
Wow.
So
I mean,
it's like right now in this day and age. No, go ahead, Malika.
Yeah, I mean, and it's infuriating that you have people. There's all of this evidence that that there was slavery, and there's all of this evidence that the story of Kunta Kinte happened, and yet and still you have folks who will always say that our history didn't happen, or it didn't happen this way, and that's what's so infuriating.
Kunta Kinte today. They have a Kunta Kinte festival, and his descendants still attend that festival.
Mm-hmm. That's why that's wild. But you know what? People are going to keep peopling, and so we have to, with everything, we have to rise above all of that, and we have. So let them talk.
And that's what I said. I'm like, and what I just told him, I said, so we're just supposed to take your word for it because you said it's a lie. Tell us why it's a lie.
Right.
I'm still waiting on him to respond though.
Of course. Yeah, tell him you don't want none of this.
Right. I said, people are going to keep peopling is such a bar. Yeah, Malika got bars.
Oh my goodness.
What is your goal now? You've written the book, you've created the audiobook, you've won the awards, and I see that you just mentioned that you are in the process of getting grants to do further research. So what is the next step for you?
So the next step, so there's two things. One, I would love to I would love to get more grants to finish the research for this next novel, which is called Number 33. And I want to so I've slated the release for 2026. So so that's what I'm working on now. And so the next thing that I would love to do, and I've been working on this also, is I would love for Song of Redemption to be a movie.
Yes.
And so I've been nudging a number of people. Hi Shonda Rhimes, hi Ava DuVernay, hi Ryan Coogler. But however,
with those grades, you kind of favor Ava.
Oh yeah, thank you. I think she is stunning. But yeah, I mean it's so the screenplay is almost done, and so I'm just that would be a dream come true if Song of Redemption is a movie. But right about now, I'm working on Number 33 and just trying to get that finalized so that I can set it out.
It's going to be a powerful novel. Is it going to be a novel again?
It is.
Okay.
So and it's not going to stay. So there's going to be some flashbacks and time traveling and all of that in this particular book. So it's going to follow the path of a genealogical path of whoever Number 33 is. So we're not going to stay in 1802. We're going to travel to the present. We're going to travel to the 1940s. So I'm really, really excited about and the 1920s. So I'm really excited about releasing this next novel.
Well, I'm excited for you. Congratulations on all you're doing. I'm going to be on the lookout because we're going to have you back on the show when the book is ready. I just want to see you do all of the things. I mean, I love the research that you're doing. These are the stories that we need to hear. So thank you for what you're doing.
Absolutely, and thank you for you know how much I love everything that you do, and you have allowed indie authors such as myself to have a platform and to have a voice, and therefore give a voice to others. So so I'm very appreciative of you and everything that you do, all of your hard work. So
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much. Thank you so much. Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we've made it to the top of the hour. So, if you can just remind people, where can they find your book and how can they stay in touch with you?
Sure. So you can find Song of Redemption in all formats. So it's you can go to malikajstevely.com. So you can find the ebook, the paperback, the hardcover, as well as the audiobook, and all of the information is on my website. It's available online wherever you get your audiobooks. And you can definitely you can go to Barnes and Noble, Amazon. You can go to Libro if you wanted to download the audiobook. I highly suggest Libro, because the proceeds can go to your favorite indie bookstore. And if you want to pick up any version of the book, of the text copy of the book, go to bookshop.org. And there you can also select whichever indie bookstore you would like the proceeds to go to as well. So there's many different ways you can get Song of Redemption. And so I'm just very grateful for anyone who picks it up and reads it. And be sure to send a review as well.
All right. Well, thank you once again, Malika. Uh-oh. It sounds like you're being beckoned.
I mean, yeah, I call it happy chaos in my house. It's just,
well, you know, we love your baby, because when we were all dancing at the Ivory and Cream affair, he was getting it. He was great dancing and everything. We loved it.
He was in his own world, both of them.
You're right, both of them were.
Uh-huh.
No, your kids are amazing. I love them. You have an amazing family, and it was really nice to see your family come out and support you the way they did.
Thank you. They had the best time, and especially those cookies that were there at the event. At the event, they tore those cookies up.
I want to let you know that. All right, but you enjoy the rest of your evening. May God bless everything that you do. And we'll be talking again very soon.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, y'all. We've come to the end of another Horizons Author Lounge. Make sure you join us next week, where we'll be interviewing 2 more amazing authors. And I'm going to tell you, got a surprise for you this month. If you remember the Black Panther, who was featured during the Black History Month Literary Weekend, she's coming to the show. So y'all don't want to miss that, but she's coming up later this month. Thank you, Mark, so much. And we have a lot of other great things happening. If you would like to be a guest on the Horizons Author Lounge, all you have to do is go to my website, www.mtwimagesolutions.com, and then click on the Work With Me tab, and then you'll find the Horizons Author Lounge. We are booking from June through the end of the year, and we want you to be a part of it. We have a good time on the show, as you can see. So there you go. Just click on that link right there and get in on this fun, because we're having a good time. Also, do not forget about the book, Mastering the Game, 100 Insider Secrets to the Literary Industry. You're going to find some tips. You're going to find some stats, and you're going to find action points that you can use to activate your writing career right now. I don't want you to miss this. The link is on the screen right now. It's also in the chat. Get a copy of this book. Like I said, it's free. All you have to do is just download it and then get to reading. And then let me know what your favorite tip was. What was that tip that resonated with you? So that's all I have, guys. It is now 8 o'clock. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow night on Black Authors Matter TV. God bless you guys. I'll holler. Bye-bye.